Hello students, right now we're going to be learning number 3 in our orchestra book for bass. Remember, when you play bass, it doesn't always sound the same as when the other students play on their violins and violas. Okay, so the first thing we do is we point and say the note names. Ready, go. D, 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 A, 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 D, 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 E, 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 G, 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 A, 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 D, 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 A, D, rest. All right, and by now you remember our second step is to clap and say the notes. Okay, so get ready for that. 1, 2, ready, go. D, 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 A, 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 D, 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 E, 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 G, 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 A, 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 D, 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 E, A, D, rest. And now for the fun part. We get to pluck and say the notes. I'll set up for you. All right, here we go. Make sure you're looking at your music. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, play. D, 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 D,